Hi everyone, so we're just continuing this wee series of videos looking in a little bit more detail at each individual stanza of Visiting Hour, now that we've covered them in the class. Again, as usual, not going into all the detail here, that took us, what, an hour in the class, but just going to skim through the key points to kind of point you towards the areas that you should be making sure you've got some material for in your notes for later on when it comes to the essays. So there's stanza 4. And I'm just going to walk through some of the key bits in there. So you should notice the use of the lightly, swiftly word choice there. That's making sort of an allusion towards angels. It makes them seem angelic, as does the word choice of miraculously that comes a couple of lines later. In between, you've got this line here and up and down and there, and most people would look at that and think it's somehow wrong, because usually it would be here and there and up and down. So the structure of the sentence is what matters, and it's been sort of changed from our expectations to make it seem a bit more chaotic, and that's given us an insight into the speaker and into his sort of state of mind. It's helping us to understand that he's kind of looking around him at the nurses who are all going about their job, but to him it looks chaotic. To him it looks out of control. Now that's not actually the case obviously in a hospital, but to an outsider, and especially to someone like him in his emotional state, it's easy to understand why he would be feeling that way. And it gives this sense, again, kind of like from bobbing earlier on, of him kind of seeming adrift, or seeming like he's being sort of battered about by the environment that he's in. And mentioned obviously miraculously, and what that kind of links into is this thing about the amount of pain that this burden that the nurses seem able to carry. So the repetition of so over and over again, so much pain, so many deaths, their eyes still clear after so many farewells, and the fact that it goes pain to deaths to farewells, to the goodbyes, the hardest part of all. It shows you the scale of what it is the nurses have to cope with every single day. The repetition of so and the sibilance of that, which slows the pace, draws a lot of emphasis onto it there. What it's doing is really, really emphasizing the speaker's, sense of awe, that the nurses are able to deal with all of this, every single day. And what that's really doing is it's showing you that the speaker, you think about why is the speaker so in awe of it? Well, clearly it's because he's amazed the nurses can deal with, so much pain, so many deaths, so many farewells, this huge quantity of suffering again and again and again, and they can deal with all of that. And what it's kind of doing is it's contrasting this to the speaker. He's amazed because he can't even deal with, this one burden of pain, this one death, this one impending farewell. And that he's not coping. Again, that he's not coping, from the fact that he's so amazed specifically by the nurse's ability to deal with all of this, and sort of suggests that their ability to deal with all of that is miraculous. It's part of this thing about seeing them as angels, as these incredible creatures, these incredible impossible creatures. Okay, so that stanza 4, as I say, not full detail. You should have a lot more in your notes than that, but it should give you a wee hand with just pointing out where the specific techniques are and the bits that you might want to focus your attention on.